welcome to Optimize Your Body with Martin Silva, where we talk raw, uncut facts to truly help you optimize your body.
Yo everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. And today I'm going to be talking about testosterone and how you can increase your testosterone levels and, essentially get your body, prime your body to be producing optimal amounts of testosterone, naturally, because as many of you or all of you know, I'm natural and I've competed, in fitness competitions in untested federations against people on steroids and whatnot, and there is a massive difference when it comes to building muscle with testosterone, but also veering away from what I was talking about with competitions. Also, it's just, more importantly, it's really important to have the right amount of testosterone for overall health, longevity, wellness, and I'll go a bit more into that as we plow through this episode. And I'm going to drop some knowledge bombs on this topic. So I will go into my 3 top tips for increasing testosterone levels. There's quite a lot to it. You'd be surprised. It's pretty simple in terms of what you need to do, but you need to focus on the fundamental things when it comes to secreting the right amount of testosterone. But ladies, this applies to you as well. If you are looking to lose body fat, build muscle, build a body worthy of the beach, then you need to be doing what you can to increase testosterone levels. Now, firstly, what is testosterone? Now, testosterone is a steroid hormone, so it stimulates the development of like the male characteristics, obviously produced in the testes with men, but women also produce testosterone in the ovaries, and we also produce it in the adrenal cortex. So, without going too sciencey on you, let's look at the benefits. Now, just so you know where we're at with this, testosterone is very, very beneficial for numerous different things, right? So, as I said, it's very, very important for overall health, longevity, and for you to feel good as well. So it's not just about building muscle, losing fat. There's a lot more to health and fitness in general when it comes to that. So testosterone, it'll decrease body fat, it'll increase your muscle mass if you've got the right amounts, obviously. It may strengthen your heart, it strengthens the bones. Obviously, we all know it increases libido, and for guys out there, it improves erections, right? So, it's pretty important that you have the right, your body secreting and stimulating the right amounts, or just to make sure you don't have low testosterone levels, because that can be extremely detrimental. Decrease libido. If you've got low levels, decrease libido, more body fat, higher risk of mental health ailments as well, especially Alzheimer's, fatigue, all of these things. So if you're listening, you're thinking, I do feel fatigued a lot of the time, and I find it hard to build muscle. I'm carrying a lot of body fat. A lot of the times your testosterone levels can be way too low, which is not going to do any favors in that arena, if you like. So I'll just firstly, I'll just reel off some of my top tips. Really, I'll give you 3 of my game-changing tips when it comes to increasing your testosterone levels and getting your body naturally to pump out the right amounts and high amounts, essentially. So my first point is lifting weights and strength training. Now, strength training, especially when you're lifting heavy weights, ideally with good form, obviously, but just lifting weights in general. If you ask me, and I think not just asking me, but I think in general, you're not gonna find anything which is going to increase your test levels more than strength training or lifting weights. Now, you need to obviously program your training properly. So you're training properly, and you're doing strength training properly as well. So what I mean by that is with good form and also programming it as well. So you're not doing one mode of training or one type of training for too long. For example, like strength training shouldn't be any longer than about 3-4 weeks, if you ask me, for optimal results, because your body will adapt generally after about 2 weeks. So without going too much into that, nothing will increase your testosterone levels more than strength training. Okay, now when you lift weights, particularly heavy weights, your body has to adapt by secreting more testosterone in order to help you to recover from the session and essentially to provide you with the right hormone to build muscle. So your body will respond from lifting weights. Your body will respond by building muscle because you have applied an external stress to the body, which requires it to stimulate much more testosterone in order to build muscle to protect you from the insult in the gym. When you go and hit it hard next time, the body is more prepared then. So, when you've got higher testosterone levels, or shall I say optimal testosterone levels, you'll improve everything from, like I said, from muscle gains to libido. So lift weights properly. If you haven't done strength training, in the past and really focused on that, then you're missing out on a big piece of the puzzle. So, a lot of people are like, oh, well, this works for me, that works for me. It's bullshit, essentially. Whatever you're not doing is what you're missing out on. So if you're not doing strength training or you haven't done strength training properly, then you should delve into that. But lifting weights in general, let's just say number one for me is lifting weights for increasing testosterone levels. So if you can lift weights most days, I would say ideally if you can do every other day lifting weights. I mean, providing you're hitting more than one body part, like as many of you know, I do the whole body, so I like to hit the body parts more frequently. So I do the whole body 3 times a week. And by the way, this will get you better results than split routine training. So if you're doing one body part at a time, 1 or 2 body parts at a time, you should probably try switching over to doing the whole body because you'll get better results hitting the body parts more frequently. So the more frequently you do weightlifting, obviously the higher you're gonna put your body into what we call an anabolic state, into a muscle building state where it's gonna be stimulating testosterone. So the more often you can do it, the better. So number one, lifting weights. Number 2, I'm not sure if you'll guess this one, but eating more fat. Now, personally, over the last few years, I have, I'm always learning about nutrition, but over the last few years, I have really been focusing on having a wider range of fats. This is saturated fat as well, cholesterol as well, foods which, obviously a lot of saturated fat kind of foods contain cholesterol, such as egg yolks and animal offal and meat and things like that. So I have more saturated fat, and I purposely have, sometimes I cycle cholesterol, where I'll purposely have kind of more animal offal and egg yolks and stuff like that to increase my cholesterol levels, which, by the way, produce hormones and do play a massive part in increasing testosterone levels. So eating more fats in general, even healthy fats as well. Obviously, I eat a wide range of healthy fats. So, such as avocado, ocean fish, like salmon, sardines, mackerel, tuna, nuts, olive oils, coconut oils, chia seeds, all those kind of things, dark chocolate. So, yeah, there's a wide range of healthy fats now and fats in general, which are implemented into my daily diet, which have made a massive difference to my performance in the gym, my libido, and all of those benefits I mentioned earlier about testosterone. They seem to have applied and improved since I've been eating more fats. So 100% my strength has improved. Like I said, my libido, built more muscle. Above all, I felt much better when I started. I reduced my protein and I increased my fats, and I felt so much better. So saturated fats and cholesterol are responsible for hormone production, like I said. So I vary the type of fats. I know it's a massive difference in my physique and my strength. An example of saturated fats, like I mentioned earlier, are going to be like egg yolks contain most of the saturated fats, but eggs in general. It's all in the yolk, though, don't forget. The white is just pure protein. Even butter as well. So if you can include some grass-fed butter into your diet as well. Animal offal like chicken liver, or lamb liver, anything. Just animal organs, and red meat as well. So, but there's loads of different types of saturated fats out there as well, including, like coconuts as well. So, coconut oil, I use a lot, and coconut yogurt as well. So they're the two main products I use when it comes to coconuts, and they contain saturated fat, but also medium chain triglycerides. So within those fats, you have a specific type of fatty acid, which is essential, and you can't get it from any other kind of food. So make sure you include coconut products into your diet daily, or just as regular as you can. Also MCT oil as well, so you can actually get pure MCT oil. So as I say, that's a type of fatty acid which is really, really helpful for energy, strength, again, going back to libido. And it's just a good way to get it in if you just want to add it into one of your smoothies or whatever. So yeah, get yourself some MCT oil. That'll help a lot. So yeah, just generally try and widen. And like I said, dark chocolate as well. Sorry, I tend to have most days now, actually, because not only is it packed full of healthy fats, but there's some crazy evidence out there in terms of how powerful it is as an antioxidant as well. So with the flavonoids you find in dark chocolate. I won't go too much into the health benefits, but more antioxidants than blueberries. One of the most nutrient-dense foods you can find out there if you get yourself some good quality dark chocolate, 80% or above, ideally. So obviously the darker it is, the more cacao. So the cacao beans are where the nutrients are, but it's a good way to get your fats in as well. So yeah, I'll just run through one more time the kind of fats, or just an example of the fats you want to include in your diet, which will definitely help increase your testosterone levels. So different types of meat. Red meats, ideally, for the saturated fats, but ocean fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, tuna, those kind of things. Avocado, nuts, like I said, coconut products, chia seeds, all of these things are going to contribute a lot to increasing your testosterone levels. So fats, folks, vary them, but don't overeat carbohydrates, because if you're having too much sugar, that's going to have a detrimental effect on your testosterone generally if you're overeating, because obviously it's going to increase your body fat, but also you're going to be pumping out insulin too often, and it's not necessarily a good thing when it comes to having optimal testosterone levels. And the third big rock, folks, is sleep. Now, I've done a whole podcast on this in the past. I always mention how important sleep is. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you how important bloody sleep is. But when it comes to testosterone, growth hormone, and the kind of hormones you want for building muscle and overall health, when you sleep, your body releases growth hormone and testosterone at an extremely high rate. And, this is why you need to focus on obtaining good quality sleep by preparing yourself for sleep, like at least an hour before you go to bed. Like, for example, avoiding your phone and any other electrical activity on the brain. I tend to just wind down by reading a book before I go to bed now, and I always aim to come off my phone at least an hour before I go to bed, because looking at that screen it's been proven to decrease melatonin levels, which is the hormone induced through sleeping, which is going to aid good quality sleep, and also increasing the stress hormones, which are the kind of ones you don't really want before you go to bed, such as cortisol, adrenaline and stuff like that, but primarily cortisol. So focus on good quality sleep, and this is going to have a massive positive effect on increasing your testosterone levels. So they're the three most important things, if you ask me, without reading off too many things and overloading you with information. So strength training, or just lifting weights in general, eating more fats, and sleep. Try and focus on those three things mainly. But on the flip side, well, it's not so much the flip side, but just to expand a bit on that, nothing, if you ask me, is going to give you healthier levels of testosterone than looking after yourself and keeping your body in a healthy state. Now, also, lifting weights often, like frequently. People don't tend to do it often enough. So make sure when you're lifting weights, you're doing it properly. because a lot of people they go balls to wall, or they'll do like one body part at a time, hammer each body part, and then spend most of the week recovering and not actually stimulating the muscles then on the days in between. Whereas with me, I do something every single day. I might have one day, maybe sometimes on a Sunday, where I won't do anything, but I'll still do some stretches and stuff. So I'll do my 3 big total body sessions, and then I'll do I'll get the resistance band for the days in between, which also aids recovery as well. So that's going to aid recovery. It's going to send the muscle building signal, and it's going to boost up my testosterone levels just by doing something, by stimulating the muscles. So always bear that in mind, yeah, that frequency is king. Okay, so the more frequently you can do it, that doesn't mean busting your balls. It means just stimulating the muscles. Now, if you don't want to use a band, you could just do a light gym session, 30, 40 minutes. Anything you do, really, when it comes to stimulating the muscles, is gonna play a part in increasing your testosterone levels. I might as well drop a little plug here. Now, if you head over to my website and check out my program. I would highly recommend, whether guy or girl, for building muscle, losing body fat, and building a healthy metabolism, doing my training program. It's a 9-week training program. It's called Build Your Best Body, and it's actually includes all of those concepts I was just talking about, such as the frequency element. So you'll be doing 2 or 3 total body sessions, and then using the bands on the days in between. It's an absolute game changer. So go check that out. It's martin-silva.co.uk, and go to the online fitness section and check that out. And if you want I'll give you an exclusive deal where I'll give you 50% off. So if you listen to this podcast, use code MS, my initials, founder, FOUNDER, and you get 50% off that. But yeah, going back over to that now, just to kind of summarize and recap, going over to the other side of the argument, obviously, if you're taking anabolic steroids, then that is going to shoot up your anabolic hormones, such as testosterone, up through the roof. Now, you don't need me to tell you that once again. Now, obviously I've never done that, but, just to clear that one up, obviously, if you were to take that, then that's going to boost them up, but I wouldn't recommend that. I recommend focusing in on doing it the natural way, and, focusing on your health and wellness, as well as building an admirable physique. And let me tell you, long term, and even short term, really, you don't really need a great deal of time if your training programming's on point, and your nutrition's pretty good, and you're getting enough sleep and doing the things I mentioned earlier, you're going to get results super fast. So don't go over to the dark side to boost your testosterone levels, guys. If you're listening, do it my way, and you're not gonna look back. So that's that in a nutshell. So focus on applying those tips I mentioned, and just remember, it's a really important hormone for a lot of different things, not just how you look and build a muscle and whatnot. So thank you very, very much for tuning in, and if you could please be a massive, I'll give you a free program as well, because I really want those reviews. So if you go over to iTunes and give me a 5-star rating and review, that would be a massive help. If you can then just email me once you've done it, and I'll send you out a free training program. So thank you very, very much for tuning in, and have a fantastic day, evening, morning, whatever time of day it is. Thanks very much. Signing out.